Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's yeah.
I think the direction is good.
It's been a long time ago, so I might not.
And he also, I think he's on leave, so he works late afternoon to early night. So right now it's going to be a little bit, but I'll have him.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. Yep. 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 100%. Yep.
Everyone was BBA.
I don't know. You'll be filling in.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, reassessing.
I see. How are you? Okay, now surviving. This is Mary. I don't think we met.
I have it on.
Yes, hi. How are you doing?
I mean, it didn't come out of nowhere for them, but they just sprung it.
I'm on the phone.
I have a lot of time to do it.
It's not so
It was really great. Really great. I said that I was going to sign up myself for my son because I was like, I think we can play basketball, we can swim at the Y. And then Felix took me to the Y.
And I did.
So today I found out. She's right there. She's trying to work on this issue. I don't know if I talked to you about this. You know, I'm reading the Riverside County comment. So I wanted to and then she'll bring us some fun toys. So it's the idea. She's really we just right now.
Really great spot, really beautiful. They gave us some great, like, for the avid workers. We just discuss their preschool and maybe doing officer reading like a story time, kind of some of the classes. It was really great. It was really great. I really appreciate that connection.
They have this other one. It's a 2-year book. You go from age 1 all day, every day.
Okay.
It's like groups. It's like AA, NA, the Pearson or
They're lined up in the hall.
Hello.
How's it going?
Good, thank you.
I have my life. I'm running from. Yeah, hi, nice to see you again. Just run from one to another.
How are y'all? Okay.
Okay. Hi. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes, yep. Yeah.
So it's 1 year in the mental health board, and then the second year. Halfway house. Our dog, and so they just call Colorado. That's like, it's like,
Okay, awesome. So, here, ma'am, yeah, you'll have to mark that way first, so you can actually go there. But we'll have all these folks. Yeah, that's fine. All right, take your seats, please. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for being here on this really wonderful day as we swear in new employees who have joined us since our last ceremony on August 1st of 2024. I'm very grateful that you're all here, but our remarks will begin with our mayor, Emma Mulvaney-Stenik.
Great, thank you, Chief. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Burlington Police Department. I'm pleased to join all of you today, especially all of our new employees here getting sworn in today, and also here to recognize the hard work of the Burlington Police Department's professional staff and sworn officers, and to formally welcome those who have joined the department in recent months. I want to start first with gratitude for all of the staff at the police department for your hard work, your long hours, and service to this community. I know that this work often means significant sacrifice for you and your families, and on behalf of the City of Burlington, I really thank you. As mayor, I am committed to creating a well-resourced, well-trained, and responsive community safety system. This includes rebuilding our police department. This afternoon, we acknowledge and celebrate progress in the ongoing effort to rebuild our sworn officer ranks with the addition of one new police officer. And we also are recognizing 10 professional staff who have joined the department in recent months. The continued development of the CAPE division represents our city's ongoing effort to broaden the types of support and services available when community members call for help. Today, we also recognize the department's continued work to fully staff our dispatch center. I want to welcome and thank the 2 emergency communication specialists who have joined the city in recent months. And the work of supporting and serving our community takes many forms. Public service is an honor and a privilege, and I am grateful to each of you for choosing to serve Burlington and our neighbors. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Madam Mayor. We are really grateful that you're here today, and it's not the first time. We have seen you at roll calls and on ride-alongs, and a lot of us here enjoyed the cookies that you brought on Christmas Eve, and so we're very thankful for that, and we're honored to have you here, Your Honor. We're also honored to have so many others here as well. I see members of our Independent Police Commission. I see members of our City Council. I see members of our Queen City Police Foundation. I see other department heads. I see obviously members of the media, and I see so many of our team members in the back. But most of all, I am incredibly honored to see the families of our new employees. Of the people who've joined the Burlington Police Department since our last ceremony on August 1st of 2024. We are honored that you're here, and we're honored that you've entrusted your loved ones to this department and to our mission. And what is that mission? It is keeping people safe. There is no more important job because without safety, no community can thrive. And our department handles more than 30,000 incidents a year, and that ranges from crimes like murder to simpler calls. Imagine a woman and her family get in a car crash. It's just a small one. Nobody's really hurt and the car's not totaled, but it may be the most terrible thing that she's experienced in a long time, maybe ever. The kids are crying, the bumper is cracked and it's dragging on the ground, the other driver is angry and yelling, and she calls 911 because she needs help. And our emergency communication specialists, or dispatchers, they provide it. They have to remain calm and competent and get the right resources to the right place. Because although this crash is upsetting for everyone who's involved, there's also domestic assault happening on another part of town. A woman there is screaming in an upstairs apartment, and callers hear furniture breaking and glass shattering. Which resources go where? And which parts of the team? The dispatchers, they send our CSOs to the crash, our community service officers. The community service officers arrive and they make the scene safe. They direct traffic, they keep people calm, because part of keeping people safe is helping them navigate terrible things with compassion and competence. And a week or two from now, when that driver calls our records clerks, well, she'll need this paperwork or that form, and there too we need to apply the same kind of compassion and competence. It's her first time, and she's a bit stressed, and the clerks need to remember that, because even though it's just another Tuesday for them, it's something very different for her. But meanwhile, those dispatchers are also sending sworn police officers to that domestic assault. They arrive, and they stabilize and secure. Maybe they make an arrest. Maybe a victim needs medical care. Maybe our CAPE team needs to follow up to help that victim get services or look for new housing. Every day these kinds of incidents play out. And when you show up for your shifts, you never know what you're going to get. But you know that you are going to make a difference, because this work matters. You will not find a profession that matters more. And that's why we are working so hard to rebuild. I'm tremendously grateful to the mayor and to the city council for their support, because we don't want to just rebuild, we want to build back better. And that means new people, good people, committed people, people who are ready to serve. So let's meet these people. For the professional employees, all 10 of you, will you please stand up, come forward. We're going to start by swearing in. Come on up and stand here in a line, please. I think most of you can fit on this side. So, we will start by swearing in our new professional employees. Many police departments use the term civilian to distinguish between police members and non-police members, but I don't care for that. Our dictionaries tell us that a civilian is a person who isn't in the armed forces or a person who isn't engaged in hostilities. And that applies to our cops, too, because we're not part of the armed forces, although a lot of our employees either serve or have served honorably, and we're definitely not engaged in hostilities. So it's similar to why I use the word neighbor for people in our community rather than civilians. As the founder of London's Metropolitan Police, Sir Robert Peel, said in 1829, the police are the public and the public are the police. Cops in the community have to be one and the same. So, professional and sworn is what we use. And we'll start with oaths of office for our 10 professional employees. As I give an introduction to each person, I'll ask him or her to step forward, and once that's done, we will administer the oath of office to all 10 of you together. So our first new employee actually is not here with us today, I'm sad to say. She is suffering around, but she's a member of our Burlington Cares team, Carly Levinson, and she is a clinician with that team. Carly joined us in late September. She's the second member of the Burlington Cares team, and that stands for Crisis Assessment, Response, and Engagement Services. Burlington Cares is made up of clinical social workers who provide in-person, in-the-field response to real-time calls for service. It's something very different than any other place in Vermont is doing, and we're really proud to be on the forefront of that. Burlington Cares responds to calls that relate to mental health conditions, substance use disorder, trauma-related conditions, and other emotional, medical, psychological, or behavioral health needs. It intervenes in crisis situations where armed law enforcement is not necessary, and it also follows up on crisis situations after armed law enforcement departs. Although Burlington Cares members also have to be able to assess those situations and determine whether police are needed and request and support them as appropriate. Carly has a master's degree in social work from UVM. She got it in 2024. She worked as a restorative justice intern with our Community Justice Center here in Burlington. She worked as a residential counselor at the Lund Home, and she has, in her own words, a passion for supporting adolescents, adults, and families, and helping them overcome challenges related to mental health, trauma, addiction, domestic violence, and serious crime. The next batch that we have who are here, I'm grateful for, are our dispatchers. So we call them emergency communications specialists. And we're swearing in 2 new dispatchers today, Jenna LaBelle and Nancy Wynn. Would you please step forward? Lucy Wynn, would you please step forward? These are the people who first received the panicked, frightened call that after something's gone badly. It's a burgled home, it's a missing child, it's an injured person. They have to be kind and compassionate, but they have to be businesslike too. Sometimes that doesn't always go over well with callers when they are asking for specific information so that they're able to make those determinations I talked about earlier. Which resources are we sending to which call? They're the first line of response for the public, and they're a lifeline for cops in the field. And with the addition of these two employees, the Emergency Communications Center, or ECC, our dispatch center, has 12 full-time employees. It's been nearly a decade since that was the case. 2 years ago, we had fallen as low as just 4 full-time employees. That is absolutely inadequate to cover a city such as ours. But the ECC's recovery is proof that rebuilding is possible, and that when it's accomplished, it makes a tremendous difference. A more distributed workload, higher morale, and better service to the public. So, let's meet both of these new dispatchers. Jenna LaBelle, an emergency communications specialist. Jenna's lived in Vermont for 5 years. She graduated from UVM with a degree in psychology and art. She enjoys spending time outdoors, especially swimming, hiking, and biking. In the summer of 2022, she backpacked the Long Trail, all 270 miles of it. That took my son and me 10 years in little sections, so good golly, that's an impressive trek. She loves to travel. Her favorite thing to do in a new country or city is to walk around, try new foods, and enjoy the architecture. Lucy Wynn, emergency communications specialist. Lucy, originally from Central Vermont, has spent the last 10 years working as a customer success manager in marketing. And that gained real experience across several industries, but also experience that's applicable to the work in our dispatch center. She moved to Burlington in 2010 to attend the University of Vermont, where she studied English and sociology before deciding to focus on her career. She comes from a family with a strong background in law enforcement and the military, and she's always been drawn to becoming a first responder, a goal that she's been passionate about for much of her adult life. In her free time, Lucy enjoys hiking, spending time with her dogs, watching movies, and experimenting with photography. Next, we have a new records clerk. The information that law enforcement does takes a big part of what law enforcement takes is a big part of what we do. Can you step forward? Thank you. Whether it's affidavits and criminal histories for the courts, or property records for a homeowner, or crime data for the Federal Bureau of Investigation's National Incident-Based Reporting System, or NIBRS, law enforcement loves acronyms. It is incredibly important to get that information right and to do it well. As I said, compassionately, competently. Sarah Mead, records clerk. And she is our newest records clerk. We're up to 4 again, and we are incredibly happy to have Sarah here. She is from Washington, D.C. She received a Bachelor's of Science in Criminal Justice from Champlain College. Most recently, she worked for the Vermont Crime Information Center, or VIC, as a fingerprint analyst. The VCIC, as a fingerprint analyst. Sarah enjoys going on walks, baking, and trying new restaurants in the greater Burlington area. If you find any good ones, let me know. She also loves animals. I had to bring my dog in about 3 weeks ago, so my family was out of town, and she came in and made friends with Millie pretty quickly. So thank you, Sarah. Community Support Liaison. So our next employee is a Community Support Liaison, or CSL, Maya Thompson. Our Crisis Advocacy Intervention Program, which we call CAPE, is the newest part of the Burlington Police Department. It consists of the Burlington Cares team, which I described a few moments ago, as well as our domestic violence victims advocate, Mary McAllister, and the victim services specialist, Hannah Brislin. But the biggest part of CAPE is our CSLs, the Community Support Liaison. The CSLs are in-house social workers who help address many of the root causes that drive public disorder, such as chronic mental health conditions, substance use disorder, and homelessness. Lacey Smith is the assistant director of CAPE. She and I created the CSL position as part of the Public Safety Continuity Plan, and we began building the team in summer 2021. Maya is our 6th CSL, meaning that the team is now fully staffed. And that's a pretty big deal and pretty important. She's already done amazing work while she's been here, including with some of our most challenging folks, people who are in the community who are chronic centers of disorder and issues with how the public feels in public spaces. Maya comes to this position with 20 years experience working in various social work positions in Burlington, most recently at the Safe Harbor Health Clinic as an outreach worker with unhoused folks. Prior to that, she spent time working at UVMMC, UVM Home Health and Hospice, and the Committee on Temporary Shelter. She enjoys working with all populations, but has a special connection to working with hard-to-engage people who are disconnected from mainstream services. And she's done that really well with people that a lot of folks in the room probably know, but I won't name them here. But she's been really successful at it. Thank you. We're now going to recognize our 3 new community service officers, or CSOs, Jacob Alfar, Matthew Edwards, and Paul Schneider. Our CSOs are also really important parts of the Public Safety Continuity Plan. They're unarmed, unsworn employees who answer important calls like those involving noise, or animals, or crashes without injury. They're also a regular presence on the marketplace and in our parks. And over the past few years, the position has been a training ground for police officers as well. I'll start with Jacob Alfar, Community Service Officer. Jacob joined the BPD from Virginia. He served as a sergeant in the U.S. Marine Corps. He worked in counterterrorism as a paramilitary interpreter for the federal government. He's proficient in several languages. He's traveled to a few dozen countries across 5 continents for work and leisure. He's got an educational background in engineering, law, and language. In his free time, he dabbles in business, learning, and spending time with my... These were written by individuals, meaning sometimes they wrote it in the first person, and I'm putting him in third person, and he's spending time with his wife. He is also looking forward to serving the community and addressing its unique challenges. Matthew Edwards, Community Service Officer. Matthew was born and raised on Long Island, New York, but now lives in Pittsburgh. In Plattsburgh. He is that would be a long commute, so that would be hard. I have seen him in his truck after he's crossed the ferry waiting in the parking lot, but it ain't from Pittsburgh. Matthew is a recent graduate of Plattsburgh State University, where he played baseball for all 3 years. When he is not at work, Matthew prefers to be in nature, fishing, or in the gym lifting. At home, he has 2 younger sisters and a dog, Molly. He loves to watch sports and is a big Mets and Arizona Cardinals fan. And last, Paul Schneider, our Community Service Officer. Born and raised in Colorado Springs, Colorado. He worked his first job at Taco Bell when he was 15 years old and stayed for a whole year and a half. Graduated high school as his class valedictorian with an associate's degree in political science. He earned a bachelor's degree in political science and computer science from the University of Colorado, Boulder. His favorite hobby is gardening and plans on renting a plot at the nearest community garden this coming summer. I know that there are a couple of city councilors in the room who work on those community gardens and could probably be a good resource for you, Paul. In his free time, he likes to spend nights watching movies or solving crossword puzzles with his partner, Kaylee, and their cat, Larry. Enjoys playing, reading, and giving piggyback rides to a young nephew, and moved here to Burlington in November 2024 to join this department and this job. Thank you. Next is an employee who's not really a new employee, but is a transitioning employee, Krista Town. Krista started with us in January 2023 as a community service officer, but last month, after 2 years as a CSO, she became our new recruitment coordinator. And she now works with the recruitment officer, Sergio Caldieri, to accomplish the single most important task we currently face, which is rebuilding this police department. Krista is originally from central Vermont, but has recently purchased a home here in Chittenden County where she lives with her dog and cat. In her free time, she enjoys exercising, skiing, traveling, reading, and the occasional baking. She is looking forward to this new role and to help add to the growth of this department and the community she cares about have experienced. She was a great CSO, but we are very, very happy to have her in this very important role. And I think she's going to do great things along with Officer Caldieri. Caldieri in Town, the law offices of our recruitment team. Thank you. Next and last, but not least, is our new command assistant, Scheib Couchman. Scheib works as essentially an executive assistant for the whole executive team, and that's the chief of police, that's the 2 deputy chiefs, that's the assistant director, Cape, and the executive manager. She makes the schedule, she calendars, she manages correspondence, and she handles these events. From our holiday party to today's ceremony, she does a lot of those logistics. So if you have complaints about how this is going, Shibe is the person to whom directed those complaints, and she owns them. All right. Shibe went to Norwich University and was in the Corps of Cadets. She studied political science, international affairs, and Spanish. She's originally from Connecticut, but lived in San Diego for a year before Vermont. She played ice hockey from youth through college. She's got one older brother who's in the Army, and she is proficient in Spanish and American Sign Language. I didn't know that last one. That's pretty cool.
She helped someone in the lobby, like her first day or second day she was here with sign language.
There you go. Unsurprising. And did it quietly and just sort of matter-of-factly as well, which is her want for all of it. So thank you, Shibe. So, Deputy Chief of Administration Brian Labarge is now going to administer the oath of office to our professional employees.
Solemnly swear or affirm
Do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of
Dispatcher
for the city of Burlington and the state of Vermont.
for the city of Burlington and the state of Vermont.
On my honor,
On my honor,
I will never betray my position,
I will never betray my position,
my integrity,
my integrity,
my character,
my character,
or the public trust.
or the public trust.
I will always have the courage
I will always have the courage
to hold myself and others accountable for our actions.
to hold myself and others accountable for our actions.
I will always uphold the truth
I will always uphold the truth
in the community I serve.
in the community I serve.
Congratulations.
So we will need you to stick around because we'll have to have you sign those oaths when you're done. But thank you very much. You can take your seats. You know, it's a special thing when a job has to take an oath, and that oath is taken to you, the men and women of this community, the people of this community. And I think it's really important that you take that and that you understand what you said. Now, it is time for us to recognize our new police officer. Police officers are called sworn employees as opposed to professional employees because they alone swear an oath of office that is under pains and penalties of perjury. And this is required because of the specific powers that are conferred on them by the state of Vermont. And so I would ask our new recruit police officer, Pontanak Wongpai-Boon, to come up and join me. Recruit Wongpai-Boon is about to embark on 16 weeks of police academy training. He'll learn about community policing and fair and impartial policing and addressing mental health crises. He'll get training in force, firearms, fingerprinting, forensics, and those are just the F's. There's also precision driving and domestic violence and drug recognition and motor vehicle law and addressing mental illness and interview and interrogation and juvenile law and it's a lot. But the community is just the academy is just a piece. And when we get our recruit back, we will expose him to how Burlington does what we do, which is differently and I believe better. He will have at least 580 hours of field training with experienced officers, including some of the people that are in the back of the room. By volume and variety, those people experience more than any other agency in the state, and they are experts at what they do. We expect a lot of them, and we'll expect a lot of you, and the community that you serve will expect it too, but I am confident that you'll deliver. Pontanak Wongpai-Boon, or as his friends and family call him, Ty, is from South Florida, and he spent his whole life growing up in the Sunshine State. After high school, he moved to Tallahassee to attend Florida State University for his bachelor's and master's degree. He has been working in restaurants since he was 17 years old and has learned how to adapt to a constant changing environment, and to people who aren't always entirely happy and people who really are happy. And that is a big part of policing too. When he is not working, he enjoys going to the movie theaters or lifting weights, and both of these things keep him at ease. He loves finding new music. Finding out the best thing and being able to introduce bands or songs to his family is something that brings him joy. He's got 2 cats, an orange tabby and a gray, with his girlfriend Shyla. He has been working within the field of law enforcement, and it's always been a passion of his. It wouldn't be crazy to say that he's known since 3rd grade that he would one day be a police officer. His constant drive and grit, combined with patience and the need to help others on a community level, is what I think is going to make him incredibly well suited to this role. He looks forward to working with the Burlington Police Department and being a public servant in this incredible city. Thank you. So, Deputy Chief Labarge will now administer the oath of office to Recruit Wong Pai Boon. Anyone in this room who is a sworn police officer is encouraged to raise your hand and retake that oath as well.
I state your name.
I, Principal Wong Pai Boon,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear or affirm
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of probationary police officer
the office of probationary police officer
for the city of Burlington
for the city of Burlington
and the state of Vermont.
and the state of Vermont.
On my honor,
On my honor,
I will never betray my badge,
I will never betray my badge,
my integrity, my character,
my character,
or public trust.
or the public trust.
I will always have the courage
I will always have the courage
to hold myself and others
to hold myself and others
accountable for our actions.
accountable for our actions.
I will always uphold the Constitution
I will always uphold the Constitution
and the community I serve.
and the community I serve.
I will therein do equal right and justice
I will therein do equal right and justice
to all men and women
to all men and women
to the best of my judgment
to the best of my judgment
and ability.
and ability.
According to the laws of this state
According to the laws of this state
and the United States of America,
and the United States of America,
under the pains and penalties of perjury.
under the pains and penalty of perjury. So help me God.
A few days ago, Detective Joe Coro and Detective Patrick Hartnett were on the radio representing the BPOA, which is our police officers union. And they were asked why they do this work. Detective Hartnett said, "I felt like I had a calling to this profession and come from a long line of public service in my family. And in addition to that, the men and women of the Burlington Police Department are a massive reason why I come to work, because they're fantastic, terrific individuals." Detective Coro said, "I have always felt that I had a calling to this job, to this career. And I actually want to help the people of Burlington have a better life and to feel like they can go about their day and not have to worry about all the things that we're focusing on because we've got it covered. That's our job. We took this oath for a reason." That says a lot. It says a lot about the people that we have. It says a lot about why these folks take this work. Today, all of you took that oath too. This is a high-stakes job. This is a high-stress job, but this is a highly rewarding job. And I've said this before, and our team has heard it already, but for our new employees and for your families who are here, what is it to live a great life? How do you do it? Well, there are probably a lot of ways. But as far as I'm concerned, it is impossible to have a great life unless you have a meaningful life. And it is very difficult to have a meaningful life without meaningful work. So I cannot promise you a great life, but I can promise you a meaningful life because I can promise you meaningful work. All of you new employees are now part of a team that exists to serve this city, a team that strives to make Burlington safe and fair everywhere for everyone, and there's nothing more meaningful than that. So, welcome to the best job you'll ever have. Welcome to camaraderie that you won't get anywhere else. Welcome to a job where the right mixture of compassion and accountability, of authority and good judgment can make a real difference in people's lives every day and improve the health of our community every single day. Welcome to the Burlington Police Department. That's it. I encourage you to meet some of these folks. I encourage you to have some of the cake that we've got, I believe courtesy of the Queen City Police Foundation. And I am grateful for your attendance and being here with us today. Thank you. Let's get those signatures.
Yeah, let me get everybody up here, please.
I'd love to get to join you at some point. It doesn't have to be those.
I mean, if they're available, I'll probably use it the week of the school, because Max is here.
They are. Just be aware. Oh.
Late February, last week of February.
Okay.
It's not Washington.
Okay.
No, that's a blackout for a lot of places. So it would be crazy. But no, this is the last week. Yes.
How are you? How are you doing? In the office. In your home. Didn't take the course, but she's like, oh, I know him. No, I